I've listened to Immortalized by Disturbed since it came out.
And I listened to it once yesterday.
Welcome to Spin It, another Connor takeover. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Spin It podcast. Hope you meant to click on us and not some other podcast because you're here with us.
You made it.
It's me, Connor.
And me, James.
And with me, that guy.
Oh, it's me, James.
It's always fun when I'm in the driver's seat.
It is. I'm excited for your Year of Redemption format. Woo. It's awesome.
Yes. So normally James hosts the podcast, brings an album. I listen to it once the night before. I give the fresh take. He gives the detailed take. It's great. Format that's worked for 230 some odd episodes.
It's true.
And every once in a while we like to mix it up and put me behind the wheel and let me bring something to try to introduce new music to James. This year, we're in the Year of Redemption. And so I, for all of my picks, have been perusing the bottom of James's ginormous, 800 album spreadsheet. 900 album spreadsheet where he has ranked every album he's ever listened to since high school. And I look for somebody that I feel has too low of a score and that I really like. And I go find an album of theirs that I really like and bring it to James to try to help redeem them on his list.
Yes.
And that's what I've done with Disturbed. Tell me about your past experience with Disturbed. Where are they at on the spreadsheet? Like a good prepared podcaster, I didn't go get that information myself.
That's okay. I did. That's why the podcast is usually set up the way that it usually is. We've been talking about Disturbed a lot in recent episodes, especially with Mixtaper, talking about, stuff like Asking Alexandria and whatnot. Disturbed came up then and a few other times. And so I was like, man.
Did I bring it up on our Simon and Garfunkel episode?
You certainly did, yes.
I'm sure I did.
So actually, the reason I first listened to Disturbed was on your recommendation. You like Disturbed a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you've listened to this album since it came out, that's 6 years before the podcast was ever a thing.
Yeah.
And I was looking for heavier music, and you recommended Disturbed, and I said, what album should I listen to? And you pointed me in the direction of Evolution, their 2018 album.
Yeah, and that was, what did you ask me for that recommendation?
Well, let's see. I listened to it in February of 2021.
Okay, so a few years after it come out.
Yeah, but still before the podcast, I believe.
That would have been before the podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't until September 2021 that Divisive came out, so that would have been their newest album at the time, so that's probably why I pointed you in that direction.
Yeah, I think so. And I liked it. I really enjoyed a lot about it. David Draiman's voice was really captivating and still is, and I'm excited to talk more about it. But this 10-track album, it was all right. And I listened to it again this morning before I listened to Immortalized.
I quite like it, and it has one of my favorite album arts of theirs.
The DNA is pretty cool. But I got to be honest, the album art on Immortalized is sick.
It's very cool.
It's a little tropey for heavy metal music, I think, but it's awesome. Cooler, I think, than the Evolution one. But
I'm just a big fan of Teal.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I listened to it again, and I, reaffirmed all these scores and stuff. Well, I gave Evolution a score of 82.5. Respectable. I enjoyed it, and a lot of these songs made my playlists. Are You Ready? In Another Time, Savior of Nothing, The Best Ones Lie, a lot of really cool songs in there. And that 82.5 put it on the ranking list at a respectable number 566. Again, there's 900 albums on here. So that is a little bit under the halfway mark, below the middle of the road. It's actually, as far as episodes we've done, it's between Mac Miller's Swimming and above Guts by Olivia Rodrigo, sandwiched in between them.
Huh.
So Evolution wasn't awful, but I do think Disturbed had a lot of untapped potential, and I've been meaning to get back into them and meaning to listen to another album, and I was just stoked when you mentioned that you were doing this trope for the Year of Redemption. I was like, oh, you gotta pick Disturbed. Maybe now's the time you'll finally bring them.
Yeah, and here they are.
Here they are.
I was really debating whether to go with Immortalized, which is after their hiatus, which we'll get to in a moment, like Evolution was, or take you further back in time, back to something like The Sickness, where they really got started.
Yeah, I could get down with that.
I decided to stick with Immortalized, though, because that's the one that really got me hooked onto Disturbed. And of course it has The Sound of Silence, which is a fun one to talk about with the history of Simon and Garfunkel in this podcast.
That's true. Well, I was a little concerned that Immortalized is so close to Evolution. I mean, the albums came out, like you said, they're back-to-back in the discography.
Yeah, I mean, like 3-4 years.
And 2015 and 2018, that's not very different.
Yeah.
So I was worried that this one would be a little same, like Evolution. Evolution's got a little bit of that electronica. It shows a lot of Disturbed's softer side with some acoustic moments.
Which is really something that exists in the post-hiatus Disturbed realm. Like, there's not a lot of soft in the earlier stuff.
Yeah.
Which is also probably why I shy away from it a little bit.
Ballad guy.
Yeah.
Well, what's your previous Disturbed experience? You mentioned The Sound of Silence. I mean, even in 2021, when you first recommended them to me, you're like, you gotta listen to this cover, this Sound of Silence, this version.
Yeah.
And probably even in 2015, like you mentioned it to me then. You really love that cover.
Yeah. Really, Immortalized, like I kind of said, was my introduction to Disturbed. I mean, I think we had all probably at that point in time heard, like, Down with the Sickness and stuff like that, right? But
I feel like I have in passing.
yeah, it was one of those, like, yeah, I'd heard it. I got the everybody doing the ooh, ah, ah, ah. I knew about all that, but I didn't really know anything about Disturbed until this album dropped out of nowhere and caught my attention, which not a lot of music did at that time. Mm-hmm. It's the big ballad guy, their cover of Sound of Silence. That's just so different from the original, which again we'll talk about. Instant favorite for me.
Yeah.
This was at a time period where I was listening to some stuff like this. Not a lot, you know. I had a like Skillet was probably like as heavy as I was getting.
Yep.
At the time, you know. So again, this was another kind of toe in the water into that genre.
Yeah.
So yeah, all in all, I'm happy with this pick. We'll see if I'm still happy with it once I hear your score, but for now, I'm happy with it. Mm-hmm. But enough about me. It's time to get Disturbed.
Yeah, I guess so. Brace yourselves, everybody.
Wah!
Oh my goodness.
You should just put that in random places throughout the episode.
Maybe I will. We'll see if people can count them and get the count right by the end.
All right, so who are they? Heavy metal band from Chicago.
Illinois or a different one?
Illinois.
Okay, just checking.
Won't hold it against them, though. They formed way back, 1994.
Wow, that's before I formed.
Weird to think that that's way back. Yeah, that was before I formed, too. Neither one of us had formed. Forming members, instead of founding members. Dan Donegan on guitar, drummer Mike Wengren on drums, bassist Steve the Fuzz Kamak, and lead vocalist at the time Eric Awalt. Those four started as a little band called Brawl.
Brawl is a pretty sick name.
It's a pretty sick name. They originally wanted to go with Crawl, but apparently some other band already had that.
Well, they got the better end of that deal for sure.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They ended up releasing a little demo tape after a couple years of just noodling around together, but it didn't really take off or anything. So Erica Walt, their lead vocalist, he said, sayonara, I'm out of here.
Wow.
Which left the band having to audition new vocalists. When in walks David Draiman.
Don't you mean in Ox?
Ew, I hate that. He'd been to 20 other auditions like that week or something like that, and had had zero luck with any of them.
Wow. I know you're talking about 20 other auditions with 20 different bands, but it'd be really funny if he just came back to them for the 20th time. He's like, guys, please let me in. But I can understand why he was desperate. Do you know that David Draiman left a 6-figure job, like a legal job, with a company car and all kinds of stuff to go join a band?
Really?
Yes.
That's cool.
Uh-huh.
That's really cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, so, I mean, he was very passionate about it.
I'm surprised. You might be stealing the Mixtapers stuff there. You might want to watch out.
Well, I don't know about all that. I mean, he's probably very passionate about it and very desperate to get into a band.
Yeah, well, desperate he is, but, you know, that desperation and those 20 failed auditions, it didn't get him down or anything. If anything, it made him more confident. More confident to experiment, that is. He decided to go into this audition with some originals. He comes in with music for the band to play and original songs and lyrics to sing.
Whoa.
And that impressed the band to just come in and do that and come ready with your own stuff. that makes you sound good.
Yeah, he came down with the sickness.
He backed that courage and audaciousness up with some powerful melodies.
Isn't audaciousness just audacity?
Yeah. An audacious audition.
Oh, that's good.
And he just instantly clicked with the band. And so he got the gig. And he's actually the one that suggested they change their name to Disturbed.
Bad move.
He goes, great, now that you've let me into your band, let's change the name.
I'm the captain now.
Well, you think Brawl is better than Disturbed?
I think Brawl is better than Disturbed. I kind of do.
Interesting. But Disturbed, I think, has more meaning to it for what they wanted their songs and sound to be interpreted as.
Yeah, that's true.
He said it comes from the level of conformity people are forced into is disturbing to them, and that they were trying to push the envelope at the time, and so they wanted a name that conveyed that.
Yeah, I just like the way that Brawl rolls off the tongue, whereas Disturbed, like there's a little break in the middle.
Yeah, you like a single syllable?
Yeah.
Sorry, Metallica.
That one rolls too. That's got a little bit of a roll.
I like Disturbed. I like the name.
Well, I do too. It's just not as good as Brawl, but it does make sense that it's more with their ethos. That definitely checks out.
Whether it was the name change or the vocalist change, it definitely shook things up for the band because they released 2 3-track demos. That first track had a little song you might know called Down with the Sickness.
Oh, never heard of it.
And the second one has another one that was also hugely successful, but maybe a little less recognizable to a non-Disturbed fan, Stupefy.
Yeah.
The success of those, I mean, they blew up. They were hot. And that got them signed with Giant Records in 1999 and also got them the gig opening for the band Ministry at Chicago's Riviera Theater. This then, of course, now signed to a record label meant they could finally do a debut album, which they released called The Sickness in 2000.
Yeah.
That, of course, had massive success, mainly due to the fact that Down with the Sickness and Stupefy were on it, so everybody that was a fan of those songs ate it up and went and bought it, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, well, they're pretty fresh sound, I'd imagine, in the heavy metal scene at that time.
And of course, we've already made fun of it several times with that ooh-wah-ah-ah-ah little like monkey noise thing, which you've all heard probably in memes or the gym.
Or earlier in this episode. What do you mean in the gym?
Or earlier in this episode. It's just like people who are like playing music in the gym. This is the Disturbed is that kind of music gym people put on.
Oh, headphones, people.
Yeah, but some people hook it up to their speaker or like forget that their phone isn't connected when they hit play.
Yeah.
So you just all of a sudden get blasted with a random ooh ah 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 ah.
Man, I hate when I get blasted with a random ooh ah 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 at the gym.
Yeah, we're getting blasted.
That's why I stopped going to the gym.
Yeah, that's why.
Just too many of them.
But it became one of, I think, heavy metal's most recognizable sounds. I think pretty much anybody who knows anything about heavy metal has heard that sound.
Yes.
It went on to sell what I believe is quadruple platinum in the US, meaning it sold over 4 million copies.
Woo, that's a lot.
That cemented Disturbed status as heavy music heavyweights.
Nice.
And they did not slow down. They churned out hit album after hit album throughout the 2000s, such as Believe in 2002, 10,000 Fists, great name for an album, by the way, in 2005,
Yeah.
Indestructible, 2008, and Asylum in 2010, all 4 of which debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, which is an almost unheard of streak.
Yeah.
At that point in time, every Disturbed studio album except their debut album had hit number 1, which put them in a 3-way record book. I don't know if it was a tie at this point or if they were just one of only 3 bands to have done so far, which the other 2 being Metallica and the Dave Matthews Band.
What a combo.
Were the only other 2 that had 4 consecutive number 1 albums. And that, to be fair, that's like debuting at number 1 as well, not just
hitting number 1. Wow.
That's what makes it impressive. So yeah, they racked up over 17 million records worldwide sold. Not just that they had in their own collection.
Yeah, goodness.
And a slew of number 1 singles on the rock charts, and even a couple Grammy nominations along the way, though I don't believe they ever won any.
Dang.
They were a dominant force of the hard rock metal scene of the 2000s. They were all the rage. 2008, Connor had never even heard of them.
No.
But apparently they were all around him. In 2011, after the Asylum tour, they decided that was enough. Time to take a little pause. So they announced in October 2011 that they were going on an indefinite hiatus to recharge and focus on other projects. Indefinite hiatus is the worst kind of hiatus.
Yeah, it's so scary.
They almost always turn into definite hiatuses of forever.
Yeah, that's what happened to NSYNC and, I mean, a couple other bands.
They did have a pretty intense run, though, over that decade, so the break isn't that kind of shocking, but it did leave fans feeling a little disturbed about when or if the band would return. I had to throw that in there.
I think you had to. Yeah. Get it out of your system.
It's not.
Oh.
But during what ended up being a 4-year hiatus, spoiler alert, they explored some side projects, such as Draiman started an industrial metal project called Device. Dan Donegan and Mike Wengren formed a band called Fight or Flight. So they kept pretty busy.
Yeah.
The absence, though, of Disturbed sound left kind of a niche void that few other bands were really able to satisfy.
Yeah.
And like I said, the hiatus didn't last forever. In 2014, the guys secretly started meeting up to write new material. They didn't tell anyone at first because they wanted to see if the magic was still there without any hyper pressure. And spoiler, it was.
That's so funny. Secretly meeting up. I mean, who are you going to tell? The wives and girlfriends?
Well, just like not announcing to the band or like letting the people know, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Keeping it hush-hush.
I just don't hear about that with any band.
The magic, definitely still there.
Definitely.
In June 2015, they shocked the world by announcing that they were back. And not only were they back, but they already had a new album ready to go that they recorded under the radar in Las Vegas.
That's so cool.
The same day they announced they were back, they released its lead single, and fans went nuts.
That's so fun.
The album would be immortalized in their catalog, and it marked a triumphant return for the band.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Man, it's so exciting to think about. Like, you think your band is on hiatus and maybe never coming back? Never heard anything about it?
And then boom!
Boom, new music.
They're back. New song, new album. Here you go. And it didn't suck.
Yeah, no, I guess that's good. What was the lead single from Immortalized that they put out?
I believe it was The Vengeful One.
The Vengeful One. Solid.
And that was one of 4 singles that I believe were released across the album. So yeah, that was pretty exciting. Other career highlights, like I said, Evolution 2018. Then they released Divisive in 2021, and supposedly here, like real soon, like sometime in 2026, supposed to be getting another new album because they just finished up the Sickness 25th anniversary tour.
Wow.
Here in 2025, and they've been teasing a new album upcoming, so that'll be exciting.
Yeah, that's very cool.
It'd be real cool if it released when this episode came out.
Yeah, that'd be fun, but I doubt it. Unless they surprise drop that one too, I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah, that would be crazy. And then other career highlights that I didn't mention, they've gone on Ozfest a couple times. Of course, multiple world tours, selling out arenas, all sorts of memorable rock radio staples. It's just a lot of good music. But let's dive a little deeper into this week's album, Immortalized. For those who were counting at home, this is their 6th studio album that was released in August of 2015. And it arrived after 5 years. 2010 was when it finally came out after their hiatus. When they announced they were back and hit that single and said a new album on its way, anticipation and a lot of questions kind of arose, right? What would they sound like after this hiatus? Would they stick to that formula that seemed to do so well in the 2000s, or would they try to adapt to like the 2015 era of music? And from a production standpoint, they definitely tried to shake things up a little bit. They worked with producer Kevin Churko, who was known for his work with Ozzy Osbourne, Five Finger Death Punch, and other big rock acts at the time. And this was their first time working with really a producer at all. They usually self-produced. They deliberately, though, sought him out because they wanted outside influence to freshen their sound. So it was an intentional move.
That's nice.
They recorded the album, like I said, in secret at the Hideout Studio, which is a great place to record a secret album. And interestingly, the album was actually recorded as a trio. Their bassist, John Moyer, didn't participate in the studio sessions due to their other commitments at the time. So Dan Donegan handled all the bass guitar during the recording.
Well, that's wild.
But they still credited Moyer in the liner notes, and he did still play all the songs in like the tours and stuff like that. He just isn't actually on the record. So when you're listening to this album, you're hearing Donegan, not Moyer.
Wild. I mean, I never would have guessed, but that's kind of a bummer. Good that they still credited him, but
yeah,
kind of stinks. Love when the full band's there.
Yeah, he had other commitments that he couldn't get out of, from his side projects. So
yeah.
The album, they announced it in June of 2015. Huge moment. They dropped that lead single, The Vengeful One, just out of nowhere, in June. And they also released it with a cinematic animated music video that featured their mascot, the Guy, as a Grim Reaper-esque Avenger.
Yeah, we got to talk about the Guy.
Yeah.
I mean, we probably will when we get to the album art, but what a guy.
What a guy. They also released the cover art, which depicts the Guy hulking out of a post-apocalyptic landscape. Like I said, we'll talk about in a second. The track listing, the release date, I mean, they basically was signed, sealed, delivered.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Ready to go. They were ecstatic. Not only was Disturbed back, but the new song sounded very Disturbed. It was heavy, aggressive. You could hear Draiman's signature vocal snarls and big catchy chorus. They had not lost their touch, that's for sure. In terms of album theme and style, though, they did tend to stay a little more true to their roots. They did branch out in a few places. Like I said, getting a little more, what'd you call it, electronica? Soft, what'd you call it?
Well, I did both.
Yeah.
There's a little more of an electronic influence in that era, but also they show off their gentler side with some acoustic moments and some softer songs.
Yeah. But if you're a longtime Disturbed fan, you know, you still get your chugging guitars, your anthemic choruses, that dark, empowering lyrics that you expect from the band. So it's a little bit for everybody. In fact, in Draiman's words, he said that they didn't want to, quote, reinvent the wheel. They just wanted the wheel to be well-oiled and ready to run over anything in its path.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah. At the same time, they said they did experiment with some new elements. There's a more dynamic range on the album. Like you said, some softer moments, a power ballad style track, and of course, the very bold choice of covering Simon and Garfunkel's The Sound of Silence.
Uh-huh.
If you could go back to like 2015 and poll Disturbed fans and ask them if they ever thought Disturbed would go folk, I don't think any of them would say yes. And
I mean, that's true.
It did incredibly well, but more on that later. The band members also approach songwriting a little differently. This will be interesting, I think, for you, James.
Yeah.
Draiman noted that everyone had more input on each other's parts than ever before. And on previous albums, you know, your part was your part and you kind of handled it. Here, everybody really influenced one another and wasn't afraid to comment and push for what they felt was best. They had a renewed energy. They were hungry to make a statement with their comeback. And then again, bringing in Kevin Churko really helped. He challenged them to raise the bar and add some more modern production flourishes, which you may or may not have been a fan of. We'll find out.
We will find out at the end.
The record sounded big and clean, maybe more so than like cleaner than probably a lot of the earlier albums, which I'm a fan of, but maybe some heavier metal fans weren't.
Yeah, polish is okay, but sometimes it's detrimental.
Yeah, so it's claimed. Like you said, there were some electronic touches, the orchestral arrangements and spots. Let's talk about the reception, though. Commercially, it was a home run, slam dunk, all the sports metaphors.
Yeah.
It debuted at number 1, continuing their streak, making it their 5th consecutive number 1 debut.
After a hiatus, I'm sure.
Yeah, keeps them in line with Metallica and the Dave Matthews bands. They had 98,000 units on the first week, which is pretty cool. They basically picked up right where they left off, sitting on top of the charts. The album also hit number 1 in Canada and Australia, and top 5 in several other countries. By 2017, it had already sold 500,000 copies in the US, and I'm sure by now I wouldn't be surprised if it's like on platinum and had 1 million, you know?
Yeah, you never know.
A lot can happen in 8 years. Critically, the album, though, got mixed responses. Some critics praised the band for not fixing what wasn't broken, while others felt that they played it a little safe.
It's actually certified 2 times platinum in America.
Well, there you go. One reviewer on Loudwire pointed out that Disturbed had a knack for writing hit singles, and that out of 13 songs on the standard edition, more than half could legitimately be rock radio hits, and a lot of them were. Metacritic, though, only gave it a middling 55 out of 100. AllMusic reviewed it a 3 out of 5 stars, said the album didn't show much growth and might not win over new fans. Consequence of Sound gave it a very harsh D grade, saying it's a for fans only album that sticks too close to formula. But, you know, maybe this proves them right, maybe it doesn't. The fans' reception was very positive. The Disturbed fan base, which is apparently called the Disturbed Ones, I did not know that.
That's a pretty lame fan club name, I'll be honest.
I mean, it's a little basic, but
it is.
What else do you go with? The ooh-ahs?
I don't know. But if you're a fan of the Beatles, that's like calling yourselves the Beatles guys. I don't know.
Yeah, they were thrilled to have the band back. And, of course, the album's mainly, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great songs on there, but what everybody remembers it for is the Sound of Silence cover, which exposed them to an even wider audience. There's a lot of people who went and listened to it, you know, just to hear what all the hype was about.
Yeah.
They knew the song.
Like me.
It became Disturbed's highest charting song ever on the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 42. It also hit number 1 on the mainstream rock charts and the hard rock digital songs chart. But I'll gush on it more in the track-by-track section.
I'm sure you will.
To sum it up, Immortalized, big comeback record for Disturbed, and it was awesome. To answer the question I thought you would ask and didn't, what is the record for #1 debuting albums?
Oh, that is a good question. I know we've talked about people who have a lot of #1 albums in a row. Like Drake had a ton, but I don't remember if they debuted.
Evolution debuted at #4, so sadly,
Oh,
Disturbed streak ends at 5. So that leaves you with either the Dave Matthews Band or Metallica.
that's tough because Metallica has a wider mass appeal, but the Dave Matthews Band has a more rabid cult fan base, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Metallica probably would carry that torch, hold that record.
Metallica has had 6 consecutive debuting #1 albums.
Oh.
The Dave Matthews Band, 7.
It's probably Lou Reed's fault. I bet Lou Reed, that album they did with him, probably knocked them out of it.
Maybe. But yeah, so Dave Matthews Band, 7.
Wow. I really wouldn't have guessed that.
Well, you didn't, so I believe that.
Yeah,
That's, I think about all I got.
that's a solid intro. I had no idea this album was recorded secretly and a surprise comeback. I mean, that's very cool.
Yeah. I try to include information that not only the audience is going to like, the basic stuff that we always put in the rundowns, but I usually try to go find something about the production of the albums that I know will interest you.
Yeah, I try too to do the same. Some albums have a really cool story behind them, others not so much. But it's amazing what you find when you do a little digging.
Digging up bones.
Yeah.
That should be their next crossover cover.
Oh, Randy Travis cover.
They should do a Disturbed version of Randy Travis.
That'd be pretty intense. Digging up bones by Disturbed is
I'm digging up bones.
crazy. That'd be wild.
Should we get the Mixtaper out here to see what he's got up his sleeves?
Oh, I guess we oughta. How are you feeling about playing the Mixtaper? The last time you played against him, you were back returned to form
Yeah.
on the Frank Sinatra episode.
I know a lot about Disturbed, so I'll be honest, I'm kind of hoping for a Miley Cyrus style episode where I just sweep him and he's completely defeated.
Wow.
Because this is the band I probably know the most about since Miley Cyrus.
Really?
It's up there.
Wow. Oh, that is stressful then. That's cool.
Well, not for you.
for
You
me.
should be feeling great because that means I'm going to...
Oh, yeah. I'm feeling great. Well, let's get the Mixtaper on out here and hear how stressed he is.
Come on out, buddy.
Hey, it's me. I'm suddenly a little stressed. I was feeling good until about 3 seconds ago. Something just came over me.
Yeah? Yeah? Did you overhear what I was saying to James?
Yeah, I did. You know a lot about Disturbed, huh?
Well, we're roommates. You should know how much I like them. I'm always playing them. You're a big fan of them, too. I always hear usually either Down with the Sickness or Sound of Silence playing from The Untrue.
It's the sound, yeah. That's true. 2 of my favorites. You know me and my old friend. That's Darkness.
Yeah. Well, have I shaken your game? I got you all off kilter?
I guess we'll find out.
That's what I'm hoping.
Well, let's start out with my first fact. I like to think I've got a good cadence here, a good rampage.
Okay.
But up first, Love Was Brewing for Mike Wengren.
Love Was Brewing. Okay. Did he meet his wife at a coffee shop?
No, he didn't meet his wife at a coffee shop. This is, though, about how he turned his girlfriend into his wife.
Okay. How did he do that?
He proposed to her.
Oh, well, that is a good way to do it.
That's pretty much the only way, I think, to turn a girlfriend into a wife. He popped the question.
Yeah? Literally popped it? Like, bang? Or how's brewing coming into this?
Oh, it's not. That's just Love Was Brewing. He was falling in love.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So he proposed. How did he propose?
He proposed on stage, mid-show.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's big.
I know, right?
That's almost a guaranteed yes, right? I mean, imagine what happens if you say no in that scenario.
At least in the moment, it's a guaranteed yes. I mean, if you know your future fiancé at all, you should know whether that's a thing that she would like or not.
Yeah.
But thankfully, yes, she did say a genuine yes.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, this happened at a show in Wisconsin on August 31st, 2005.
Oh, kind of a lame state to do it in, but...
Well, you'd think, but it's where he met his girlfriend, in Milwaukee.
Oh, that's cute.
That's where their love story kind of began.
That's cute. Okay.
So it's before their set closer, Mike steps up to the microphone.
Milwaukee.
And he's usually behind the drum kit, so stepping up to the microphone, everybody knows something's up. But he starts giving this speech about how they met here in Milwaukee, and it was very sweet, and he gives a little, professes his love. Then he invites his girlfriend up on stage, gets down on one knee, and proposes. And then she says yes.
That's...
And I guess maybe Brewing fits into it in this regard, because after she said yes, the band collectively did shots, and then they finished out their set.
I get it. Brew like alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else I should ask? I'm a little rusty.
Well, I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't.
Well, you kind of laid it all out there, so I feel like this is a true fact. I think typically when you lay it all out there like that, it's true because you're excited to give me all the details.
You know that that's my style for everything I tell you.
Yeah, but I think when it's a spin, you're a little more guarded. That way you don't give too much information that is fake. That would like trigger up the red flags. You try to dull the fake part out.
Oh.
So plus there's just nothing here not to believe.
Okay, well that's reasonable.
And also I vaguely remember hearing about one of them having an interesting proposal story.
Really?
So
of course you do. Of course
I
you do.
Well, I don't remember any of the details, but I do vaguely remember one of them having an interesting story.
This is my worst nightmare.
This would be a really great way for you to have taken what is a really good story and also made up a still interesting but less exciting story to put before it to throw me off. But I'm still going with fact.
Oh, intertwining things? Like intertwining this with a different fact to throw you off would have been wise. Oh man, you're so good at this game. Okay, you're locking in fact.
I sure am.
Mike Wengren proposed to his future fiance on stage mid-show. This is a fact. You got it.
Woo!
Love was brewing for Mike Wengren. That's got to be a really intimidating way to propose. I mean, to be proposed to in that way could be flattering, but to get up there in front of an arena of people,
I don't think I'd like it either way.
Maybe not. Doesn't seem like your style. All right, well, you ready for the next fact?
Sure.
Okay. Fact number 2. Brewing is love for Mike Wengren.
All right, now. All right. This is why you said love was brewing. You said love is brewing specifically so you could use this one as brewing is love.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Now the puzzle pieces are clicking together.
Yeah.
If the next one is Mike Wengren is brewing love, and you found another way to just flip those 3 words around.
Oh, man. I don't know what that would mean. He's brewing love?
I don't know. Okay, brewing is love for Mike Wengren. So does he make his own alcohol?
Yep.
Like alcohol? It could have been coffee.
No, it's alcohol.
Okay. Like as a hobby?
No, as a business.
As a business. This wouldn't happen to be during the hiatus, would it?
No, actually, it wouldn't happen to be during the hiatus. Although, I think the brewery opened while the band was on hiatus. It's called the Steel Tank Brewing Company. It's in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. I'm sorry, Wisconsinites, if I just ruined that.
That's better than I probably could have done.
Oconomowoc. Every other letter is an O. So...
Sorry, spell it for me.
Oconomowoc. A femininomenon.
That is every other letter. That's fantastic.
It feels like some kind of messed up version of Connor.
It kind of does.
Anyway, the brewery launched in 2013. They officially opened in 2017 after they got going, but Mike Wengren wasn't on board then.
That would be during the hiatus, right? He wasn't on board then?
No, he joined as a co-owner in 2020. So it sounds like it was more of a pandemic project than a hiatus project.
Oh, I see. Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So they launched in 2013, but didn't open until 2017, and Disturbed didn't get involved until 2020.
That's the timeline I was able to find.
They did have to cancel their 2020 tour.
Well, yeah, so did everybody. What?
I'm just thinking, as I tell you would have had time, but they specifically were like ramping up.
Oh.
Prior to 2020, shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
They were getting ready to have their big 20th anniversary of The Sickness, which ended up turning into the 25th anniversary because they had to cancel it because of that old vid.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. It's not doing it for me. I think it's convenient that he partnered with a brewing company in Wisconsin where he told me he met and proposed to his girlfriend.
Oconomowoc is what I Googled it.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Oconomowoc?
Yeah.
Manamana. Bum-bum-manama.
Oconomowoc.
Oconomowoc.
That's the second time we've made that joke in just a few weeks.
It's a good joke. Yeah, no, it's feeling a little too convenient for me. If I had to guess, you discovered the connection to Wisconsin, and then you just started finding cool things in Wisconsin that he could be a part of, and you probably stumbled across this random brewing company that was in Okanamawak and was like, well, I gotta bring Okanamawak.
Well,
at least that's how your brain would work if you were playing against James. So I'm just assuming it's similar. Did they ever play there, I guess?
Did they ever play in Okanama?
Yeah, did they ever go to Okanamawak and perform at this, brewery? Is it a brewery where, like, I guess in my head, like, here around where I'm at, there's a lot of local breweries that, like, are open. You come in and, like, they're a bar and brewery, not just a brewery.
Well, let's see. The population of Okanamawak was 18,000 at the 2020 census. So I don't think they're pretty far down south in Wisconsin. Maybe they're near Milwaukee. Probably. I mean, the band played in Milwaukee. Maybe they visited Okanamawak when they were passing through or something.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, less so about Okanamawak, and more just now that Mike Wengren's an owner, a co-owner or whatever you said.
Yeah.
I would think he'd take his band there to, like, perform or something. If it is, maybe it is just a brewery place, and not a brewery/bar. I guess that's my question.
I think it's mostly a brewery, but I think they added an entertainment venue to the space. It's not big, but just can't confirm.
Big enough to hold the members of Disturbed?
To hold the members, yeah, I guess. I don't know whether they perform there or not, but
oh, okay, you don't know.
The space, they've created a space for musicians to play.
I can't decide if them not performing there adds to your credibility or lessens it. Because if I'm Mike Wengren, I want my band to come play at my brewery.
You gotta go promote, yeah.
But also, that'd be really convenient. I don't know. I think I'm going to trust the old gut and say spin on this one.
Spin on this one. Love was brewing.
Yeah, between the name and the connection to Wisconsin, I don't know. I'm not liking it. Something's off.
Okay. Well, Steel Tank Brewing Company is alive and well in Okanamawak, Wisconsin.
Uh-huh.
And they opened in 2017. And in 2023, they added a 4,900 square foot music venue.
Uh-huh.
It's got a 400 guest capacity. Sounds like a really cool space.
Great.
And Mike Wengren purchased a co-owning share in 2020. And this is a fact.
Whoa!
That's right. Steel Tank Brewing Company.
A co-owning share. Wow.
Love is brewing and brewing is love.
Wow. Okay. Well, not a shutout. I was hoping for a shutout, but
I was hoping for not. So that's good.
Yeah, it's a real shame.
It is. Now, you said you knew a lot about Disturbed, so I'm happy just to get one past you for now. Okay, third fact. I'm feeling jazzed now. I'm energized. I'm ready to go.
I don't like that. I had him off his game. Now he's warmed up.
Maybe a little. Okay. Mike Wengren is brewing love.
You're not going to get me with that.
No, I'm just kidding.
You're not going to get me with that.
That's not really it. No, up third, let's talk about David Draiman. We've talked enough about Mike. Wonderful drummer, wonderful brewer.
Yeah, get out of here, Mike.
Time to talk about how David Draiman disturbs almost everyone.
Almost everyone.
Yeah.
Who doesn't he disturb?
Well,
or who does he disturb? What's this fact about?
It's kind of about two things that I wanted to glue together into one fact.
Okay. Red flag's already up. Always scary when we're gluing things together.
Yeah, the first thing I wanted to talk about was the disturbing everyone part. David Draiman was a tough child.
That feels like its own fact.
Yeah, I know, it does. It does, and I wanted to separate them, but I found another thing, and I like the brewing is love, and love is brewing, and so I kind of put them together for the sake of having four facts.
Okay. So, what's up with his childhood or whatever?
Well, he got expelled from school.
Uh-huh. Is it because he blew up a car and threw somebody out the window?
It is a little bit of blowing up a rabbi's van, which is wild.
There's a van. It was a rabbi's van? Hang on.
Yeah.
I don't remember that detail.
Well, he is Jewish and he's going to a Jewish school.
Red flag. I just remember hearing about him blowing up a car as a kid and also throwing people out of windows. I'm just looking for like the detail. I'm trying not to jelly baby myself.
Sure. Well, he does commit a little bit of defenestration.
I'm sorry, is that what that's called?
Yeah, throwing someone out a window is called defenestration.
That's an awesome term. They need to release a song called defenestration.
Yeah, right? Because D, like out, and fenestre is Latin for like windows. Come on, engineer, you should know. Like fenestration is like the organization of windows on something, like the layout architecturally.
I'm sorry, do you think I'm a architect?
I don't know what you engineers know.
Or even worse than an architect, a civil engineer?
Well, no. But anyway, yeah, David Draiman threw a kid out a 2-story window, who apparently hit him first and started it. I have it on David Draiman's good authority that the other kid started it.
That's good.
And then there's one third thing that was kind of the last straw for him getting expelled from school.
Okay.
They found a GQ adult magazine under his pillow.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and they said, oh, that's it. You could blow up a car, you could throw someone out the window, but this is the last straw. Absolutely not. And so they expelled him from school. He's disturbing everyone.
Skeptical of that last part, too.
He's disturbing everyone.
Okay, but you said almost everyone, so...
Almost everyone, yeah. He turns his life around after this expellation. He straightens up. He triple majors in business administration, political science, and philosophy.
Uh-huh.
And then he meets someone he just cannot disturb. His wife.
Okay.
This is the second bit that I wanted to include about David Draiman. What do you know about David Draiman's wife?
Out of fear of jelly babying myself, I plead the fifth.
Okay, fair enough. You don't want to give me false information, so you're not saying anything. That makes sense.
Correct.
Well, David Draiman said, I originally met her during our prayer music video shoot around 2002. She was dating one of the other actors in the video who was friends with the co-director. She came on set to say hi, and I was instantly just smitten. She came to the next shoot, and then we didn't see each other for 7 years. And once I finally decided to make a Facebook page, I found her on somebody's page and asked her to friend me. And she didn't believe it was me because I had 1,000 imposters on there. And she's like, if this is really who I think it is, tell me the significance of downtown LA circa 2001 or 2002. I'm like, my prayer music video shoot where we met. And she said, okay. Draiman said, I called her, and I'm like, I have a show coming up in Chicago. Let me fly you out, no strings attached. Come hang out, invite a friend so there's no pressure. And if the vibe is cool, hang out. And if not, then consider it an all-expense paid trip to visit. So she accepted, and she came out to the show, and that was the beginning of their relationship.
Wow.
Do you know who his wife is?
Like her name?
Yeah.
I believe it is Lena Yada Draiman. I believe it's hyphenated.
Yes, Lena Yada, now Lena Yada Draiman. Professional surfer, model, actress, and WWE diva.
Yes, she is.
He was married to a professional wrestler.
She sure was. That was the detail I didn't want to give.
Yes, David Draiman married a wrestler. And that's so cool.
You had her, you had Kelly, you had Layla, all part of that. The old, 2008 Connor watching ECW and SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah.
2008 Connor knew all about, apparently, before he even knew who Disturbed was, knew all about their wife.
Yeah, see? And that's why I figured you'd know it. And when you said you knew a lot about Disturbed, I was worried because I knew this was coming. But very cool. I knew you were a big wrestling guy.
Sure was.
He said, ironically, her understanding of the entertainment world made it easy. A lot of other girls didn't have a concept of it and had jealousy issues, and it's daunting dating a rock star because there's all these rumors, but she was used to the WWE rumor mill. He said, she did not marry me because she's a big super fan of my music. She likes it, but she prefers more dance stuff. In fact, I think that she liked me not because of what I do, but in spite of what I do, is a big part of what made it work. She cannot be disturbed.
The crazy thing is, I would say the biggest memory, and it's barely a memory. I mean, this thing is fuzzy as can be, right? But my biggest memory of probably her specifically on WWE would have been the Halloween costume match that the Divas always did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I really remember Mickie James dressed as Lara Croft. That was a big one because I was just getting into video games at the time.
Oh yeah, video games. Just getting into video games at the time.
Yes, well, of course. And then I think if memory serves, she was a ninja?
Yes.
I think she was dressed as a ninja.
One of her nicknames is Ninja Yada.
Okay, well, there you go.
At least according to her Wikipedia. I didn't watch wrestling. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here.
Okay, so to be clear, the information I gotta know, I have to confirm is correct. He blew up a rabbi's van.
He did, yes.
He threw a kid out a window.
Defenestration, yes.
Yep. He had porn.
Yes.
And he married a WWE wrestler that didn't think it was him when he tried to meet up with her.
Yes.
Those are the 4 things?
Roughly.
Yeah, I think those all check out. Other than maybe the GQ magazine, I hadn't heard about that, but...
Wow, that's private.
Everything else lines up, so yeah. Well,
so what are you saying here?
I'm saying fact.
Okay. What if I told you, after you've locked in fact, of course, that David Draiman actually does just disturb everybody after all, because they got divorced in 2023.
Yeah, well, that's why I confirmed what details I had to say were true.
I don't know. I don't think that makes it a spin, unfortunately.
It definitely doesn't, but I was wondering, you didn't mention their divorce, so I was wondering that, but I wasn't going to give you that idea if you hadn't thought of it.
No, I thought of it.
You little rascal. You dastard.
Yeah, I don't think it counts as a spin, but maybe we'll put a pin in it and see how you do on the last one.
No. It's a fact.
It's a fact. Fine.
You're not getting a dastardly little point on me.
Fine.
You can redeem yourself and try to get a 50-50 on this last one.
Fine. Okay. Well, we've talked about Mike Wengren. We've talked about David Draiman. And he kind of got a 2-for-1 in his fact.
He sure did.
Now we're going to move on to Dan Donegan.
Woo!
Guitarist. Dan Donegan was not as he appeared.
Wild. Okay.
I know, right? This is my final ramp.
This is your final ramp. Okay, how did he appear?
Well, of course, he's a rock star. So he appeared like a rock star. He likes to dress cool. He likes to look tough. And more importantly, he likes to have long, flowing rock star hair.
Uh-huh.
But, there's sometimes that long, flowing rock star hair, it's just not practical. And in fact, it's probably better that you don't have long hair.
Oh, yeah, sorry, all you long-haired people. James says it's better not to.
No, in certain circumstances. There's like times where it wouldn't be good.
Is there a specific circumstance that he's in?
Yep. See, Dan Donegan's dad, Ralph, is a construction worker. And at a certain point in his life, Dan went to go work in construction alongside his dad. And his dad said, hey, that long flowing rock star hair is going to be a problem. You are going to have to cut it.
The number of videos I've had to watch in like safety briefings where like people with long hair were operating heavy equipment, got it stuck and had their heads literally ripped off.
Right. See, it's dangerous in some circumstances.
Decapitated themselves because of heavy machinery getting wrapped around their hair. So I believe it.
It's super important, and his dad tells him so. But that's not what Dan wants to hear. He loves his long flowing rock star hair.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah. So he does something about it. He doesn't cut his hair.
Does he exclusively wear like a hat to hide it?
Worse.
I'm sorry, worse?
He puts on a wig.
Oh! I was going to say bald cap.
Well, a bald cap.
Bald cap was my next guess.
A bald cap is just a naked wig, I guess. But he puts on this short-haired wig so he could keep his long hair.
So wait, so he's wearing a wig.
Uh-huh.
Is he like, how old is he, first off? Is this like like a high school job where like he's still living at home and has to wear it 24/7? Or is this like he's living on his own but working at the same place so he just has to wear it to work?
I looked for information about when this was, and I'm not entirely sure whether he was living at home or not. But I do know that this is a thing that he did daily and for a while. This was not like a one-off ruse that was super easy to keep up.
Okay, well, how long did he keep it up?
4 years.
That's a long time to work at a construction company before you turn out to be a professional musician.
Uh-huh. He wore this wig to work with his dad for 4 years.
Well, and also probably to like family things, right? Because if like you show up at work with short hair, but then like come out to the weekend cookout with long hair, he's gonna be like, what the heck?
Yeah. All the family gatherings for 1,200 days. He's wearing all his long hair balled up under a tiny little wig.
That's nuts. 4 years is a long time.
A little bit. In the grand scheme of all time, it's not so bad.
It's like 1,400 some days.
Well, I guess, yeah. I didn't consult the math squirrels on that one.
Yeah. 4 years. And so that means he figures it out, or does he just stop working there and it's like, oh, I grew my hair out again?
No, his dad figures it out. At some point, he catches him wigless or he removes the wig or just tells him. I don't know how, but dad figures it out. And at that point, he's like, whatever. You've done it for 4 years. Just keep your long hair. You don't have to cut it. Like, clearly, you're determined. You're committed to the bit. So, whatever.
Did you do an all facts week?
This is the part of the show where I shut up before I put my foot in my mouth one way or another.
You only get to play me once every couple months. Would you have wasted that opportunity on an all facts week? Especially since I think you've done an all facts week recently.
Well, I did a little bit of a spin on Frank Sinatra with the burial items. Some of those weren't true.
Yeah, and then recently in terms of just like you versus me.
Yeah, that's
There was another all facts week somewhere. because you were sick and tired. You were doing all spins for a while. You were going crazy with the spins, and then you overcorrected to all facts.
Well, I like to cut loose a little while. I don't know.
I think you're keeping it nice and tight, not all loosey-goosey. I think this is another fact.
Really? You think it's another fact?
I think it's a weird fact. 4 years gives me a lot of pause. That's a long time to keep up the ruse.
I mean,
If it's fake, it's because the amount of time is wrong, and you've exaggerated how long. That's my thought. So I'm gonna go fact.
okay. I don't know how you arrived at the conclusion that I was doing all facts this time.
Well, the first three were all true, were they not?
Well, they were.
So the question was just, is the fourth one also true, making it an all facts?
It's not an unreasonable conclusion to come to, but
You're annoyed that I came to it?
you got to admit, this is a pretty wild fact, right? I was so excited when I found this one.
It is. You're not saying it's a spin. Wait, you said when you found it?
When I found it,
But did you exaggerate it?
no, this is true.
Woo!
This is a fact. He wore a wig around his dad for 4 years.
I was real worried that 4 years was an exaggeration. Oh,
Yeah, and you're exactly right. Dan Donegan said, once my dad figured it out after a long period of time that I fooled him, then he realized my commitment to my music and my band, and he had to kind of laugh. The entire company, nobody had a clue. My hair was almost down to my waist at that point. I actually have old pictures of me at Christmas or Thanksgiving, and I'm there wearing a short hair wig, fooling everybody.
that's awesome. What a commitment.
Isn't it wild? I can't imagine it would look natural to have waist-length hair bundled up under a short wig.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It is, but it's true, and you got me again. Ugh, you know so much about Disturbed. When you said it, I knew I should have made up some lies about David Draiman and his wife and shenanigans, or I should have changed the wig fact a little bit. But yeah, I didn't pivot fast enough, and
But here we are.
here we are.
With me on top. Not as on top as I was hoping to be. I was hoping for a perfect week.
Yeah, I was worried that thinking on my feet too much would make me sloppy and careless and I'd screw up. So I just figured I'd play it safe, and
Hey, stick to your guns.
yeah, I paid the price.
Thanks for paying the price for me so that I can have a free victory.
You're welcome. Happy to help.
Put it on my tab. And by my tab, I mean yours.
Yeah. Well, I'll see James next week, but I'll see you soon, and you'd better just watch your back.
Well, you'll see me when we're done with recording. You better have dinner done.
Dinner too? Haven't I paid for enough?
I get victory dinner.
You want some chicken? You think you're gonna get a winner chicken dinner?
I did have chicken for dinner, actually, so yes.
You want chicken for a second dinner? Oh,
Yeah.
well, that sucks. Okay, fine. You never cook dinner for me.
Well, you never win.
Sometimes.
That was me, Mixtaper. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so sad. Don't cry into my chicken.
Man, it's a little extra salty tonight. What'd you do? Hey, welcome back.
Why are you saying welcome back? What? I'm supposed to welcome you back.
Well, I'm excited to be back. I don't know. I'm welcoming myself back to you. Welcoming you back to my presence.
See, I told you I'd get that one.
Yeah, you did. You were very right. Although you didn't know as much as I kind of thought you might.
Yeah, I mean, you found some good stuff that I had tangential awareness of.
Yes.
But I think it's time to talk about the guy.
Oh, the guy, the album art. The guy, as you said, hulking from the ground. I don't know too much about the guy, but I'm glad that you did your research because I'm so curious. I looked up the guy's wiki.
Yeah, he has his own wiki. Yeah,
He's got a lot of superpowers.
he sure does.
He's unaffected by the vacuum of space. He's super strong. He can fly. He has durability infinitum. He's also very influential. He's got auto reload, space beam, environmental unity. Child companionship is a little concerning,
Is that his superpower?
I guess. The guy seems to have an affinity for the young, as showcased in the song The Lost Children. But interesting, right? What a mascot for the band. How did they just come up with the name The Guy?
I mean, what else do you call him?
I don't know. I don't know, but give him a name. Something?
But also, you've seen other pictures. Like, he doesn't always look like this big mountain.
No, but he always does look like this hooded, grinning, sinister character.
Yeah.
He's on a few of their album covers.
I was actually sad to see he wasn't on Evolution, as cool as the DNA strand is.
Maybe that's his DNA.
Oh, now that's interesting. I think he looks the coolest in Indestructible when he's on fire.
That's pretty sick. I'm really liking his look on Asylum.
Apparently, here's a fun fact I found about the guy was that he's a freely acquirable playable character in Iron Maiden's mobile game called Legacy of the Beast.
Whoa, you can acquire him in a mobile game?
You can play as him in a mobile game called Legacy of the Beast, yeah.
That's so wild. Good collab, Iron Maiden. Know thy audience.
Oh, and apparently, I'm just now reading this. While he's not on the cover of Evolution, he does make an appearance inside the case of the CD.
Ah.
So he's still there, just not on the cover.
That's awesome. Well, I love the idea of Immortalized, having the guy immortalized in a mountain here, like immortalized in stone and fire. Like, that's a cool concept.
Yeah, it's very cool. And then it's kind of like he's like rising from the ground though, right?
Yeah, that's a very active shot.
I don't know how much you looked at their other album art.
A little bit.
But that, there's the little symbol on the rock, right? Right there in the middle.
Yeah, like a glyph.
That's the symbol. That glyph is like the symbol from their 2002 album cover, believe.
Oh, yeah, it is. With all kinds of different world religion symbols mixed together.
Yeah, there's some other references to other Disturbed related things in here somewhere. I forget what it is. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
It is. I think a lot of heavy metal art that's kind of like this doesn't always do it for me. Sometimes with some bands that I've listened to in this genre, it feels a little comic booky, a little campy, a little, much, but I don't think that's true for Disturbed. I think it's kind of cool.
That's right, you do. Because it is. Well, anything else to say about the album art?
No.
Then I think it's time
Okay,
to go
one more thing about the album art. I'm just kidding.
Then I think it's time to go into The Eye of the Storm.
Yeah, let's dive right in.
Our first track, The Eye of the Storm.
The problem with The Eye of the Storm is it means we're already halfway through the storm.
Yeah.
Yet, we're only just beginning the album.
Maybe the storm materialized around you.
Oh, that's scary.
It's a short little instrumental track to kick things off.
Yeah, nice chill intro, kind of building in intensity.
Yeah, building of a storm around you.
Yes, and I like that it's not so short. The minute 20 is like a good lead up to the first track to kind of just build that suspense and that tension and get you ready for the drop.
It's exactly supposed to be like you're standing in the middle of the storm. There's a tension in the air, a slight moment of calm, but yet anticipation before the chaos unleashes. It's pretty good for an instrumental. I like that it like crashes its way into the next track.
Yeah. I think that's the thing I found throughout this entire album and all of Disturbed's. That's a messy possessive. They're really good at managing those big hit moments.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot of them. The build-in and the ebb and the flow of it is very punchy, and I like it.
Yeah. But it winds on that last note, and then the next one comes in on that same chord, but with the up into the big drop, and the bass and the drums come in. As we go into the title track,
Immortalized. I recognized Immortalized. Actually.
Did you?
I wasn't sure why. I was like, the verse I wasn't 100% sure, but by the time I got to the chorus, I was like, no, I definitely know this. And actually, the reason I think I know it is I blame sporting events.
Oh.
Yeah, I think this is a hockey game staple.
Yeah, I believe that. I can see that.
Yeah. It's a perfect pump-up anthem. Very, get psyched core. I just think it's such a powerful chorus on Immortalized.
It's so powerful, right?
Yeah.
I mean, my little thing was we're right out of the eye of the storm and immediately struck by lightning. I mean, it's fast-paced, it's energized, it's hard-hitting. There's very aggressive, like almost spitting verses.
Yeah.
The verses, he's really laying into those words. This is wartime. This is our time. It's like you can feel it.
Yeah, the crunch on David Draiman's voice is awesome. He's just really, constantly got a power.
You just innately become fired up, right?
Yes.
I love Dan Donegan's guitar solo in this song.
Yeah, I love Dan Donegan's bass playing.
Yeah, well, it's brief, but it's very flashy, right?
Yes. It gets the job done. It's not too much and it's not too little.
There's some double bass drumming.
Yes. The whole rhythm and the whole cadence of the song kind of changes between the verse and the chorus.
Uh-huh.
The verses were kind of do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. We're kind of built on these little triplets. And then in the chorus, we kind of go more to a straight rhythm that I really like. Like it's a whole new pattern, a whole new flow for the chorus.
It almost becomes more melodic instrumentally, but yet he still stays very gravelly with the vocals. But he lays off the spit, the bite a little bit, you know? Even though he's gravelly, he lays off the bite a little bit, and then the instrumentals almost smooth out a little.
Yes. I mean, lyrically speaking, I think I'm pretty lax with my criticism on the lyrics for this album because, yeah, they're metal lyrics. They're a little hokey levels of intense. They're just meant to pump you up, and I really like the way that they use their lyrics to emphasize their big hits. You know, like, We Will Rise gets to be simpler because they want the punch of we will rise. They want the heavy hittingness of it. So the lyrics, I was very forgiving.
Yeah.
I think on all the tracks with things like that.
This track especially is a call to action, just like rise up, you know.
Heed the call of confrontation.
Exactly, right?
It's literally right there. Today we feed on domination.
Topple those in power that force you to conform to their rules.
Defenestrate them.
Yeah, chuck them out a window.
Throw them out the window. Get rid of them.
Them and the rules. Chuck them all out the window. I have played this song.
Whoa. Like with the trumpet? Or like on Guitar Hero?
On Rock Band 4.
Okay. All right. I don't think playing it on Rock Band 4 counts the same.
Well,
I have flown a plane on Grand Theft Auto 5.
I'm just saying as somebody who hadn't done either. I feel like you don't get a say.
Well, I've heard it. Isn't that enough?
I can play it on the trumpet.
Okay, I don't need to hear you sing the trumpet part. I thought Immortalized had top 3 potential right away. Strong start to the album.
Strong start. Strong continuance into the Vengeful One. Their comeback track.
I think it's a pretty sick, knowing that it was the comeback single out of like Ex Nihilo, I think it's an awesome comeback track to just have this dropped surprisingly one day.
I mean, the first lyric, as I survey the chaos, taking in the lack of raw humanity, it's like, I've returned to this barren wasteland, and I find nothing but insanity.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what's happened in my absence.
I really like the big 3-hit phrase on the chorus. Like, that's really working well for them.
Which one?
They kind of, I mean, in 3s or 4s, right? Immortalized, and then the Hand of God.
Yeah.
Vengeful One. Like, these big 3 hits, they're really leveraging that to great advantage.
Yeah.
Like, their emphasis on beats and syllables is, like, really impeccable. It's like a quick little sucker punch, and then they back you down to get you ready for the next sucker punch. Like a constant little cycle of intensity. Like a roller coaster going over a bunch of little humps.
Some might call it a cycle of violence with all the punching. But
Well, yeah. Well, that's why they're called brawl, you know? And just punch, punch, punch.
But again, they kind of smooth out for the chorus, right? That's kind of the thing here is you're nice and gritty and punchy, and then they smooth it out. But it's like you said, just to then build you up to punchy again.
Yes.
And, they're the dark messiah.
Yeah, very interesting, Disturbed-esque imagery.
In the blackest moment of a dying world, what have you become?
A podcaster.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. What a dark world indeed.
I liked the Vengeful One. It wasn't my favorite from the album. Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty strong as a comeback single.
Sure.
I also really love the sudden stop on it.
Yes.
And the other thing to think about, too, that is true of the Vengeful One and a lot of others, like heavy metal as a genre is often plagued by really long songs, and some of them can get a bit much or a bit repetitive. I never once thought that about this album.
Yeah, and they don't have a single one that breaches 5 minutes. They come right up to that line with 4:59, but they don't breach into 5.
That's true. But I was pretty happy with that. I did love the sudden stop on the Vengeful One, though.
Yeah, well, especially after the other 3 had kind of bled into one another nicely. So then just bam, hit you with a moment of silence.
Yeah, they definitely do that a few more times than I would probably choose for one album. But the first time it happens, it's unexpected and exciting. By the 3rd or 4th time we get a sudden stop like that, I'm like, all right, like it was fine. But the first time it's like, oh, wow.
Did that moment of silence really open your eyes?
It definitely opened my eyes into the next track. Open Your Eyes was my favorite intro so far. I mean, even including the Eye of the Storm minute-long build-up. I really loved the start of Open Your Eyes.
Okay, was it the drums? Was it the guitar? What was it?
The combination. The drums were really tight, really good.
Toy.
And that guitar riff just captivated me. It was moving in a lot of ways that I wasn't expecting. It was a little bit like a tonal whiplash. And I was like, oh, fun. It just keeps me guessing on where it's going next. Having never heard the song before, I thought that was really fun. I said this one also instantly had top 3 potential.
Okay.
Just like Immortalized. I was like, if the album keeps on going at this pace, we will have a problem. Because we're 4 tracks in, three full songs in, and I've already got 2 that I'm like, this one could be top 3.
That's a good start then.
I was like, I don't know what happens if I lose picks.
If you lose picks, that means I get to pick both songs for the playlist.
Oh, gosh. I don't know if I can have that. That depends on what you like.
I think we've set this rule in the past. If you take extra picks, that means I get free bonus picks. Like, they go into my bank.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
We got some OAOs. I love me a good OO.
Yeah, gang vocals on the chorus.
Open your eyes, OO.
And again, big hits on the chorus. Open your eyes. Like, they just punch through every syllable on these titles and on these key phrases. It makes for really memorable moments. I thought the lyrics were maybe a little simple, but I can't complain because that's what you get, the big bam, bam, bam moments from simple lyrics.
Yeah, well, and each of these songs, while obviously all in the same style, they all have had such unique rhythms and instrumentation, right?
Yes.
Like, they're 4 distinctly different tracks. We haven't gotten too much of that sameness yet.
Yeah.
Because that's always a big problem I have. The heavier the metal becomes, the more it all bleeds together for me.
Yes, and I think, too, they make up for simpler lyrics and simpler hooks by making the rest of their lyrics ridiculous. Succumb to the rage that's inside you. You're hypnotized, demoralized. Start channeling whatever will remains.
Good rhyme.
Like, there's a lot of lyrics.
I mentioned it earlier that they were very intentional about playing with dynamics on this one.
Yeah, definitely.
Both just like in terms of true volume and also just about sound space, right? They're playing with bleeding songs in. They're playing with hard stops, with moments of silence. They do these moments where it's mainly just the singer and the instruments back away. They're doing parts where the instruments are overwhelming the vocals. You know, they're just playing with dynamics in all aspects of the word.
Yes.
And I really like at the beginning of verse 2 with the "you've lost your sense from emptiness, you do as the headlines compel you." That's one of my favorite pairings of vocals, the way it's sung and produced on the entire album.
Yeah.
The like scoop he does on the headlines compel you just gets me every time.
Yeah. Speaking of like the dynamics and stuff, the bridge on Open Your Eyes was an interesting change. It was a little unexpected. I think it needs time to grow on me, the bridge, because it felt a little way different than the rest of the album. But I think I get used to it.
Maybe you're just wanting to be one of the lemmings standing in line.
No, I would not be running in a world I can't hide. I'd be standing and I'd be fine. I wouldn't be one of the lemmings.
Oh.
I may have heard Open Your Eyes as well, but it definitely was harder to tell. Immortalized was a definite yes.
Oh, okay.
But Open Your Eyes is like, this maybe sounds familiar. Maybe it sounds like every Disturbed song a little bit also, and that's why it feels like I might know it.
Well, up next is the third most popular track on the album, but also one I was a little worried about because we're getting a little electronica, and I wasn't sure how you'd react to that.
Yeah.
We got The Light.
It is a little bit more of that electronic edge. It's an eerie intro. I kind of liked that tension. So many times they explode right out of the gate.
Okay, so we're still nailing intros? We're like 5 for 5 on intros then?
Well, yeah, really cool intros to get you into the song. Overall, I wasn't sure. It seemed like we were kind of edging into Disturbed's softer side with The Light, but actually I didn't think we ended up there. I mean, it's still got a nice, sharp edge to it. I was kind of hoping they would dip a little more into the softer side.
They're like teasing you into it, right? Because it starts off
bit.
very soft, and then he gets crunchier the further in lyrically he gets.
Yeah. Lyrically, I did like a lot of stuff about the light. Sometimes darkness can show you the light is an interesting sentiment. Don't let hope become a memory.
Yeah.
That was a good line. And I also really loved how they paralleled it musically, and they ended the chorus on this nice, bright major chord when they hit the word light. There were some neat little musical tricks. I don't know if it worked as well for me, just as a whole piece.
Really? Oh, I'm a big fan of this song. The chorus, I love it. It breaks from the just punchy 3-word chorus that like, okay, verse, here's an obvious chorus, here's an obvious verse, here's an obvious chorus. They bleed into one another a little more clearly.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought track 5 was a really smart place to put a song that breaks the mold before it got stale.
Yeah, that's true. Keeping things a little fresh. I did like that they got heavier on the bridge and stuff. That was cool.
Uh-huh.
It's just like, I mean, if you look at Evolution, not that this is a bad thing, this isn't necessarily negative, but from what I was expecting from Disturbed, Evolution has like 3 or 4 of their 10 tracks that are like acoustic.
Yep.
And like not metal songs in this kind of sense.
Correct.
That really did not happen on Immortalized.
It was an evolution.
So I just kept kind of waiting for that shoe to drop, and it never did.
That's why some of the critics said they played it too safe and stuck to the formula, and others said, oh, they took what was a tried and true formula and they kind of looked on the peripheral and said, what little flavors can we add that are new? So depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, I think it's an album of subtlety in the framework.
Yeah, I definitely think if you were more familiar with their past work, you'd almost be saying the opposite of what you just said there, which is, I'm glad the shoe didn't drop.
Well, I'm not committing to saying it's bad that the shoe didn't drop.
Oh, okay.
I'm just, from what I was used to, I was expecting one or two. And to see the Sound of Silence on here, I thought there would be more like it.
Sure.
But the Sound of Silence was kind of an outlier, and there was nothing like some of those songs on Evolution.
Sure.
But The Light was probably as close as we got, at least for a long while. But that's what I was waiting for.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of The Light.
I just got one question for Disturbed. What are you waiting for?
They were waiting 5 years to come back.
Yeah, that's true. They did wait a little bit of time. I liked What Are You Waiting For? I didn't have too much to say about it specifically.
Well, first I gotta find out. Intro
On What Are You Waiting For?
or 5 for 5. This one mixes it up. Goes with a softer intro.
Probably the worst intro so far.
That's a shame. Now, what about once the instruments all kick in?
It's okay, but I still think it's the worst.
Fair enough.
I did think the faster chorus was interesting, but I really liked the fun change to halftime.
Yeah.
It kind of provided a nice variation for this song. A lot of texture going from the double speed to the halftime.
I just like that fast-paced, like, line to line. So what you waiting for? Tell me what you're waiting for. Like, he doesn't even give you time to respond to what you're waiting for. Like, he wants to know so bad.
Yeah.
He's not even waiting to hear the response.
Yeah, the chorus is the strongest part of this song, and it's fun. I did think What You're Waiting For had soft top 3 potential.
Oh, wow.
Because the chorus was so cool. Maybe a mention territory? I don't know. I just saw that potential in it.
Maybe in the mentioned territory? Okay. I would not have pegged it for your top 3, but it is a fun one for me.
Well, you gotta remember, I hadn't heard the rest of the album yet.
Yeah, that's true. This is a fun one for me. I like to crank this one up when I'm playing it on my speakers or like in my car. This one isn't as big of a headphone track for me. I assume you listen to this whole thing in a coffee shop with headphones.
Some of it.
And so, yeah, for me, this is a stereo song.
I can see that.
Here's an interesting thing that you may like or may actually hate. I don't know, but I'll tell you anyways. They brought in a co-writer for this song.
Hate it. No, I don't care. That's great. That's cool.
Co-writer John Feldman. He's from the band Goldfinger. He's done a lot of like punk pop rock acts. So they were trying to bring in a bit of that kind of influence into the song.
I can feel that.
Somebody described it as a wake-up slap after the more ballad style of The Light.
Yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe I just don't like getting slapped like it.
It is. It's like, slap, what you waiting for? Slap, tell me what you're waiting for.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I mean, you said you didn't have much to say about it, so maybe we just move on to Your Mind.
Yeah.
And it's very sci-fi influenced intro.
Uh-huh. Yeah, a little digital at the beginning of Your Mind. Again, not usually my favorite.
Yeah.
But we got good old and rocky by the chorus.
They're like keyboard atmospherics is what it's going. It's like to set the atmosphere.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. I like the place that Your Mind went to. I was a little worried about it, but it did come through.
I quite like this one. I'm always shocked by how few plays it has.
Yeah, I get that.
I guess maybe for like hardcore Disturbed fans, I can see why they would shy away from this. But for somebody who's looking for something fresh at the halfway mark, this delivers that for me.
Yeah, it's a nice change.
Like as a single, maybe not the most popular Disturbed song, but as a nice transition into the back half of this album, I think it serves a great purpose.
Yeah, the song kind of had a darker tone to it in the chorus, and I kind of liked that, like the melody of it.
Yeah. Do you like they're back with the 3-word punch for the chorus hook, 'cause you're mine.
Yeah, that's true. I did like it.
And he really on that mine, he goes up and down. His vocals, go up and down the octave.
He does a couple good vocal runs. I particularly like the melodic run at the end of the chorus, where it just descends and descends and descends. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I thought Your Mind was another track with solid top 3 potential for me, due in no small part to those vocal runs.
But I said, you're mine, and they said, who?
Yeah. After another sudden stop, by the way, on Your Mind.
Yeah.
Then we jump straight into who. Who. Let the dogs out.
As we're going into Who, I did see somebody describe Dear Mine as a dark tango, which tango was not a word I had thought of in relation to Disturbed at all. But I kind of see it.
Yeah, I think so. Who was interesting. It did remind me of Who Let the Dogs Out at the beginning. A little chant.
Well, it is just a lot of who's.
Yeah. I thought it was an interesting song lyrically. I watched you as you began to metamorphosize. Metamorphosize is a heck of a word for this sort of song.
It's a good word.
I mean, it's a 5-syllable word in a 6-syllable line.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. The chorus was fine. Just a lot of Who. A lot of Who.
Yeah. I'll be honest. Who, probably my least favorite track on the album, if I had to pick one.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I like the quiet little instrumental breakdown at like 2.5 minutes with the little explosions in it.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
That's always fun.
I like some explosions.
It also was at this point that I think I resigned myself to the fact that, regardless of where it ends up in its placement, this album definitely was going to score higher than Evolution.
Well, that's good news for me.
How much higher remains to be seen.
I'll take higher.
But I definitely, having listened to Evolution right before this one, I compared them pretty directly. And I was like, yeah, I think this one would take that cake.
Hey, well, that means it's redeemed. To what level, I don't know. Could be like some of my redemptions that are just like one up.
It's so many Who's. This would be in the running for the repetitive award.
There was a time and a place where it would have won the repetitive award.
Yep.
There's a lot of Who's. It's a bit of a stomping, anthemic kind of song. Like, I could see this maybe being better in like a concert scenario where everybody's like stomping along to the beat and chanting Who.
I don't even think.
Like, I could see it having its place. You don't think?
Nah, Who is just too weak of a word.
You think even then it struggles?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Dang, weak-worded. Weak-worded Who's. Sound like the Grinch. Oh, those Who's, they're so weak.
Yeah, maybe. I just think, like, all these songs have big things to say. What are you waiting for? The light, don't let hope become a memory. Open your eyes. I'm vengeful. And, like, all these things are so imperative and so powerful and so strong.
And then this is just like, Who?
Who do you think you are? Who are you? Like, that's so...
Who do you think you are?
It doesn't live up to the potential. It doesn't live up to the punch of the rest of the lyrics for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. You don't have to sell me. It's my least favorite, too. Let's say our last goodbye to Who and move on to Save Our Last Goodbye.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Save Our Last Goodbye's got a little gimmick here. The phone call gimmick.
Yeah.
I was liking the title and the concept of this one. The call that's going to voicemail.
Uh-huh.
Save Our Last Goodbye. Like, this is our last goodbye. I'm saving it. I'm recording it forever for posterity.
Yeah.
It's on the tape.
Uh-huh.
I thought musically it was also doing some cool things. Like, in the end, the concept wasn't quite as cool as I thought in execution. Save Our Last Goodbye.
Oh, I like the big step down of the instruments between it's like the instruments are very doomsday, like setting you up for bad vibes, right? It's like stepping down.
Yeah.
It puts you in the like, oh, this is a somber tone. That's what I'm looking for.
Definitely somber. Very heartfelt, very touching lyrically. And the concept wasn't quite as cool as I thought it maybe would be, but it still is. Like embedding our last goodbye in my mind, your face will never leave me.
Does it help at all that apparently in the liner notes they talk about that voicemail and that it's some guy named Bob Sanders leaving a real voicemail for a departed friend?
Well, that is touching. That's weird.
It's very weird.
Well, I don't think it's weird. I think I would have been better if they faked it. I think it's a cool thing to do. It's not weird that guy did it, but it's weird to take his genuine expression of grief, even probably with his permission, I'm sure, and then to like put it here as a bit of your song.
Dude, if it's not with his permission, oh my, that'd be a wild court case.
That'd be bad. That'd be pretty bad. But I think they would have been better off to take a non-genuine one.
Interesting, because I actually really like that it's genuine. I think that adds some weight to it.
Maybe. Maybe I'd have to listen to it again knowing that to get the full effect of it. Because, I mean, the first time I started this not knowing where the song was going or what it would be.
That's actually what sold me on the fact that it's in there at all. Because, you know, I'm not a gimmicky, talky guy at the start of songs or anywhere in them.
I wondered.
But learning that it was, like, good old Bob Sanders made me appreciate it a little more.
Sure.
It's a very melancholy song.
It is. I really like that part in the middle where they kind of had that hard stop and then a punch back into the rest of the song. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about the bridge, what they did with the vocals on the bridge to make it sound almost more like it's coming through a phone?
Interesting. It was interesting.
I thought that was a very unique way to call back to the voicemail at the beginning, but yet not just have like an additional voicemail or like continuation or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought it was a cool way to try to blend the two together. Whether it was executed perfectly, whatever, but I thought it was a strong attempt.
It was. I think it was interesting that this song, it had so much range because Save Our Last Goodbye, I felt like it got a lot harder than most of the rest of the album. And also a lot softer than the rest of the album too.
Yeah, playing with those dynamics and those arrangements.
This was a very dynamic moment, yeah. And it was cool that the phone thing came full circle with the full mailbox and you've reached a number that's no longer in service at the end.
Yeah.
That's just the final knife in the gut of grief in this metaphor. Not only will I not get to hear your laughter, I won't get to even call your phone number as like a coping mechanism that you're gone. Like even that is taken away from me now. Can't even leave you voicemails.
As somebody who just recently rewatched Breaking Bad, it reminds me of when Jesse is repeatedly calling Jane after she dies in Breaking Bad. Spoilers for Breaking
Yikes. Bad. Yeah, a little late for that.
A little late to be spoiled of Breaking Bad, it's been out for how long?
A little late after you say the thing for the spoiler alert.
No, I agree. And then I'm saying I don't really care because it's also a little late to be spoiled. If you still don't know anything about Breaking Bad, you were never going to.
True. Well, I like Save Our Last Goodbye. A lot going on in that song. I would like to listen to it again. I need a more full picture of it.
Ready to hit a bong and fire it up?
Oh. Is that what that is?
Oh, yeah, that's a bong.
I wasn't paying enough attention.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't recognize the sound anyway, but my first note was, what noise is that? It sounded awful.
Come on. That song's called Fire It Up, and there's like a bubbling sound. It's absolutely a bong.
I suppose so, but I didn't even consider it at the time. It just sounded gross and awful, and I was like...
That just points to your sheltered childhood.
I don't think not knowing the sound of a bong is indicative of a particularly sheltered childhood.
I think so. I think most people could recognize a bong.
Well, anyway, least favorite intro. This one definitely takes the least favorite intro trophy away from the previous record holder. Well, after we got past the intro, of course, I did really love the drums and the amount of punch in Fire It Up. It really does live up to its name. Fires you up.
It does. It fires you right up. From the leaves of the devil.
Well, yeah, it is a very weedy song now that I'm looking more at the lyrics.
When I take a puff. Again, I don't know how you didn't get that.
Well, to hear that sound with no context, of course I didn't get it. But yeah, when you get into the lyrics...
the context was right there.
It was there when you got to the lyrics. It sounded like a random kind of gargly noise.
I just like how they say that line, when I take a puff from the leaves of the devil. It's like, what a way to sing that.
Yeah, it's kind of given Needle energy. Like Bob Dylan had last week.
Needle.
Yeah. I think it's a fine song. I don't know. We've seen a couple weed songs in our day. This is the most energetic.
Yeah, it's not a standout track, but it's not the worst either. We're 10 tracks deep. They're not putting their best material right here. They certainly aren't going to put their most popular song at number 10.
No, they got to save that.
Now, number 11? You gotta kick things up to 11, That's right. The Sound of Silence. The Sound of Silence. The centerpiece of the album.
Yes. It is funny because, we did talk about Simon and Garfunkel on episode 173. We did Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Yeah.
But we did not talk about, other than as a joke, The Sound of Silence. We talked about Darkness, My Old Friend.
No, we missed it there. We almost intentionally avoided it a little bit.
A little bit, but...
So we had to bring it up here.
Not so much. This is like the main reason you picked this album at all, right?
It's a big reason.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I really like a lot of the tracks on this album. It would have been up there, but I maybe without this song would have taken us to a completely different era of their music.
I would love a different era too.
Just to give you a difference.
But we'll see.
Go check it out.
This one is plenty different on its own. Evolution showed a ton more of their softer side through 10 tracks than Immortalized ever does. Let alone through, this is the softest spot they get through 11 tracks, and it's the only soft spot, for better or for worse.
Yeah, this song alone hit number 1 on multiple charts, such as the Hard Rock Digital Songs chart, the Mainstream Rock chart. It reached number 42 on the Hot 100, as I mentioned earlier. It also charted in Australia at number 4, and then a lot of Europe. It went double platinum in the US by 2017, apparently. Their music video has over 1 billion views on YouTube as of 2024.
Wow.
And their live performance of the song on Conan's late night show became a viral hit, accumulating over 100 million views itself.
Dang.
Even Paul Simon himself gave his seal of approval. He emailed Draiman after seeing the Conan performance and told him it was a really powerful rendition.
Wow. Dude, imagine just chilling, checking your email one day and realizing you've got an email from Paul Simon. You're like, this guy's banned from the UN. It's sliding into my inbox. What's going on? That'd be crazy.
I'm going to be on a list now with the UN.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Paul Simon. No, that's awesome, though. I'm glad that Simon has heard it and loved it. I'm sure Art did, too.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe he also sent an email that was like pretty lame.
Maybe. But God knows they didn't send one together or talk about it. I really do think it's just such different vibes than the Simon and Garfunkel one.
Oh, absolutely.
That one's quiet and contemplative. This one's dark and brooding. But then as it swells and it expands to this brighter place with the strings and he jumps the octave.
It just gets so powerful.
It's pretty sick. It's moving.
Yeah. Emo Connor in his younger days, definitely just belting this song.
Definitely cried in the chicken with this one.
Yeah, he definitely sat in darkness listening to this song.
Hello, my old friend.
Definitely is. There's been some late night playings of this song.
I loved the Sound of Silence cover. It's a song that I'm not going to go back to a ton because it's so evocative and I don't really want those emotions.
Yeah, there was a time I did. One time I wish I knew the number, but it would not shock me if it was at least double digits, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was like in the 20s that I listened to this song in a row on repeat.
Oh my gosh.
It was at least double digits. Maybe up into the 20s, if be close, if I had to guess.
If you're thinking high double digits, let's call it 17.
Sure.
That's like more than an hour.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I know that it was about an hour, maybe a little more, because I exclusively listened to that song. It was in the car, and I was driving somewhere an hour away.
Oh.
And that was the only song I listened to the entire ride.
Oh, my goodness.
Good song.
Yeah, it is.
I want to listen to it right now, but we're recording a podcast, so I can't.
No, you have to wait. You'll have to listen to the Sound of Silence in the meantime, like the literal one.
What is it about songs like this wanting to talk about being underneath the street lamp light?
That's a very contemplative place to be. One spot of light surrounded by darkness.
Memories by Barbra Streisand or Cats talks about being underneath the light of the street lamp. Another song that I've listened to on repeat.
Memory from Cats?
Just the Barbra Streisand version.
Interesting. Well, the next song I think is about me.
Well, I hate that transition.
Yeah.
Up next, Never Wrong.
Never Wrong. Well, actually, though, the song is very negative. It's like you're never wrong. You can't ever lose a fight. Like, it's a very negative quality in this context. So actually,
yeah,
not really about me.
You don't want that to be you.
I don't want that to be me. It's plain to see that I actually haven't lost my mind, if you were paying attention. So there you go.
Could you hear them saying, no, you're never wrong, over and over really fast at the beginning? Because it's one of those moments, like I mentioned earlier, that's the instrumentation's kind of overtaking it.
Yeah, you can hear it in there. I really did think that was cool. More good intros. They're awesome at hooking you into a song. I mean, the scream alone in Never Wrong, I was blown away by some of the screams.
Yeah.
That alone made me want to top 3-ify it.
Wow.
I don't think I fully can, but that's such a cool sound. Such a great scream.
It is. It's great.
And also, a really cool, notable guitar solo on Never Wrong. I mean, we talked about Dan Donegan's been doing good guitar solos throughout, but they've been short, sweet, and very punchy, very tight. This guitar solo feels a little more indulgent. Like, it just feels like there hasn't been a lot of guitar solo work on this record, which is cool. Like, that's usually kind of the bread and butter of heavy metal, but I think Disturbed kind of carves their own niche because they don't ever really need a good guitar solo to carry a song or even get you through to a next section. So much of their stuff is so rhythmic and punchy and kind of built in a way that's captivating that the solo isn't always necessary. And they try and cram so much stuff into the lyrics that they're not exactly hurting for time.
Now, did you like that they didn't stick with the formula? Never wrong is another 3-syllable they could have punched. Never wrong, but they don't. They just speed right through it with the "You're never wrong, no, you're never wrong" is really where the title actually comes in. They don't just go never wrong as a triple little punch like they'd been doing.
No, that's true. I like the mixing up of the formula because the triple punch is still there, but it's hidden between lesser syllables. You're never wrong. Are you really that deceived? It's wrong that deceived. The triple punch is there, but it's sneaky.
It's a sneaky punch. It's a sucker punch.
That's what they do. The sucker punch. You're on the roller coaster of punch and unpunch and punch and unpunch. And end this time is a triple punch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those in here. They're very good at, again, an album of subtlety within the framework, mixing things up in little ways that maybe aren't earth-shattering, but are keeping this album really engaging, even for probably hardcore Disturbed fans for a long time.
But it's time for one big, powerful, like, anthem finale. Who Taught You How to Hate?
Yeah.
It's learned, not innate.
Yeah. I think Who Taught You How to Hate, guitars sound great, the intro's awesome, of course. The lyrics are fine, the messaging's good. The production feels off.
Really?
Especially on the vocals. It kind of sounds like he's singing through a tin can or something. Like, it's not as punchy or crisp or clear as the previous songs.
Really? I didn't get that at all.
I thought it was really odd. I don't know why it's like that, especially just on his vocals.
I guess I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah, it's like the mids are too high or something.
I just think he's a little more gravelly.
It's easier to ignore later on in the song when they kind of double and triple up on the vocals. But in the beginning, it's kind of obvious and it threw me off. I was like, this is weird. I think Who Taught You How to Hate is a fine end to the album, but it doesn't really change anything up from what we've already heard. It doesn't like signal that the album's end is coming or anything.
Really? I feel like the last couple tracks, I mean, there's the big moment on The Sound of Silence, but, Never Wrong, Fire It Up, I feel like they don't get quite as anthem-y as Who Taught You How to Hate.
Yeah.
And I'm just a big fan anytime. They just do so much vocally that I'm a fan of.
Yeah, they do.
And just rhythmically as well. I mean, the fast-paced into melodic roller coaster they play. I mean, like, they're like, a father's pride, my son walking beside me. Like, they like slow it down on like my son and then speed through walking beside me.
Yeah.
It's just this constant little like push pull that's constantly going on. And again, I like a band that can like have that grasp, that cut to their voice, but yet it's still melodic at the same time. It's not just screaming.
Yeah, definitely. Although I do love a good scream now and then.
A good scream now and then is good, but when the entire song is just wah, and I can't it's too heavy for me at that point.
Very reasonable.
Yeah.
You're a weakling. It's too heavy for you.
I need it to be the light side of heavy metal.
Yes.
See what I did there?
Yes.
It's like, again, that vocal, Who Taught You How to Hate, how he like scoops down and then comes back up to finish the phrase. I like it so much.
Yeah.
Well, should we final spin?
We should final spin.
Do I go first?
Sure, you can go first.
I think it's a very solid comeback album for a band that was on a 5-year hiatus. It was a solid intro album for me, who hadn't heard any of their music really beforehand. Mm-hmm. It's always stuck with me, a decade later. Still performances like listening to The Sound of Silence. I mean, in the right settings, it still gives me chills, right? I mean, it is just so powerful.
Oh, yeah.
I think if you go back and listen to some of their earlier stuff, you'll see how this album takes that same formula and lightens it up a little bit, gives it a little bit of a cleaner edge.
Uh-huh.
So they stuck, like I said, I think the critics and the audience together kind of nail what this album is. It's sticking to the formula, but experimenting with it in a safe and methodical way. And like, we don't want to just completely come back and be a completely different band and betray all of our fans, but we also want to show them that we're different after 5 years of growth on our own.
Totally.
So I think this album rides that line perfectly.
That's a great thought, yeah.
I appreciated the mix of both, like, the aggression, but also a little bit more that positive or reflective themes that we get on some of the songs. It's not just purely tear everything down, destroy the...
Defenestration!
Yeah, defenestration all the way. It's not just that. It's also some positivity and a little reflection, right? So that's nice.
Yeah.
To give some emotional variety. Yeah, that's me. Should I get my top 3 now?
I'm curious about your top 3 and your score.
My top 3.
Are you trying to say who?
Well, I know 3 of them. My problem is, what's my honorable mention?
Tough call.
I think I'll take a bonus one. I'll take a bonus one this week, so I don't have to break the tie. And it's some interesting picks, actually, I think. In album order, we're talking Immortalized.
Okay.
We're, of course, taking the Vengeful One.
Okay.
We're taking The Light.
Skip and Open Your Eyes.
We are skipping Open Your Eyes. I had to hold myself to only taking one bonus one. We're taking Honorable Mention. Actually, we're not going to Honorable Mention. So hard. No, we're going to skip all the way down. We're going to take The Sound of Silence.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to Honorable Mention Who Taught You How to Hate.
Wow.
I think Who Taught You How to Hate does the stuff a little better than the other one I was considering. Honorable mentioning. So we'll take Who Taught You How to Hate. My score, I don't remember how to pronounce it.
The city in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Okanamawak.
Okanamawak.
That's right.
I'm giving this one an easy 9. Shoot, say it again.
Okanamawak.
Okanamawak. Thank you. I'm giving this one an easy 9. Okanamawakian defenestrations.
Wow.
Try saying that 5 times fast.
Okanamawak. I've been saying it wrong.
Oh no. I like Okanamawak better.
Okanamawak.
Okanamawak.
Either way. Okanamawakian defenestrations. You better hope Disturbed doesn't have any Christmas songs, because that's a child you're going to forget for sure. That's impressive. Wow, that's 5 9s in a row.
Really?
Mother was an 8, and then Hosier was a 9 too. We are really riding high lately.
Yeah, we are. You need to bring some worse stuff.
You brought this. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, I only bring 1 out of ever so many. You're the one that did the other 4.
Okay.
I'm 1 out of 5. I feel like I'm not the worst offender here.
I thought, in my defense, I did think you'd score Chapel Roan a little lower.
Yeah, we'll teach you to judge.
And you did score the first Bob Dylan album a 6. I wasn't sure how the second one would do. Anyway, that's besides the point. Where in your 9s does it go? If it's an easy 9, that sounds high.
It's an easy 9. It's an easy 9, but it's an okay high. It's a decently high. I'm going to have to put it right above. Ooh, depending on my mood, I could see it going either way, so it's probably in the right spot. It's a coin. It's a coin. What?
A coin
toss?
Yeah.
It's a coin toss on the which way this goes. I'm more familiar with this band's other work, so we will go with them. I will put this right below The Lost Years by The Strike.
Whoa, okay. Interesting.
Part of me wants to put it a little lower because I see it's above things like...
Above Miles Davis, even.
Yeah, it's above Miles Davis. Michael Bublé, Michael Jackson, but I definitely think it's better than Red by Taylor Swift. So that's where it gets weird, you know? How the comparisons work. I think Red is better than Apocalypse Whenever, but I might think Apocalypse Whenever is better than this. You know, it's so weird how you get into some of those triangles or circles.
That's why I started doing numbers.
Well, I did numbers too. This is a 9.
Well, I know, but I mean numbers for all the little categories. That way I couldn't argue with my quantifications.
Yeah, well, keep it simple.
Squeezing in between 9 saxophone solos and 9 puffed up tets with an E. That's Disturbed.
I'm excited to see where it is for you.
Yes. So I thought Immortalized was a lot more consistent than Evolution was. It's powerful and it's energized and it's heavy. Honestly, pretty great. Like I said, I was worried that you picked an album that came out so shortly before the one I knew. Only 3 years and 0 releases separate Immortalized and Evolution.
Yeah.
And so I was a little worried. And I was also thinking like the band's heyday is Down with the Sickness, like the early era. But Immortalized, as far as I'm aware, really holds up. Now, this could be the second worst Disturbed album out there, for all I know.
Yeah, well, apparently that's how you felt about my Miley Cyrus pick, that I picked like her worst album. So,
well, you did.
Maybe.
That's true. I went back and listened to others before I made that claim.
I didn't.
Okay. Well, Immortalized, it holds up. I really liked a lot of these songs, especially early on in the album. Maybe there's an element of fatigue going on by the time I got to the back half on one listen. I don't know. But they really are. Like, they're masters of their craft when it comes to tension, creating those big hits for emphasis, memorable lyrical hooks, and also other verse lyrics that aren't as punchy, hooky, or like memorable, but are also really deep and involved. I mean, refer to Metamorphosized and, They're not afraid to use big words. Their vocabulary is impressive. Sometimes like words like that are hard to work into a song in a coherent way. And they're not just doing it to do it. The songs kind of welcome it. And that's cool. There's a great gravelly voice. David Draiman's an awesome vocalist. Great screams, killer drums. I think Immortalized might be one of my favorite heavy metal albums we've covered so far. And I'll even go so far as to say, I need to go listen to a lot more Disturbed.
Yeah.
And this might like ignite me back into a heavier listening era.
Wow.
I don't go for heavy music a ton.
But I've whetted your appetite a little bit.
Yeah, it really has whet my appetite. It's not always my wheelhouse, but I like it. I just haven't branched out and explored a lot of the corners of it. And I think this album is a good reminder that there's so much more out there that I will really enjoy.
I think Disturbed's a great place to start because I'm very curious, just anecdotally. Maybe in a future episode, you just let me know how their earlier sound compares. It sounds like maybe don't go all the way back to, you can't go all the way back and listen to Sickness, but, their hot streak really started with album 2, right? When they went on that 5-album streak. So maybe start somewhere in that range.
Well, that's true.
And just see how that compares.
I feel like that is only the case because Sickness was just their first album. People needed to get a chance to hear about them first, and then it was off to the races.
Yeah, that's true.
But, we're talking rankings, we're talking scores. A reminder, Evolution was number 566 with a score of 82.5. I think the music on Immortalized is getting an 89. I think they've got one trick sometimes with their big hits, but I think they execute it very well. And they find a lot of ways to dance around it or mix it up or disguise it. So it's there if you listen for it and pick it apart. But yeah, I think it's nice. 85 on the lyrics. I think they're pretty intense for heavy metal lyrics, which is kind of what you'd expect from the genre. But they're simple when they need to be to get those hooks in you. You read the title, Open Your Eyes, or Immortalized, or You're Mine, or Who, and you know instantly what that song sounds like because you remember that hook, because it's built on these simple, punchy little lyrical phrases. So an 85 there. Instruments and production get a 90. It's crisp and it's clean and it's polished, but it's not overly polished to the degree that I feel like this is so synthetic, right? This still feels like very raw, playable, like real music. Not that, you know what I mean? Just some music gets polished so far that it's like, okay, this is clearly run through a computer so much, like you couldn't play it live and have it sound like this. That's not the case for Disturbed, at least not on Immortalized, and I really like that. Weird hiccup, like I said, on Who Taught You How to Hate, but other than that, I think it's sounding pretty good. 90 there. Sad that they don't have their bass player. That's a thing I didn't know when I listened to it, but oh well. Overall vibe, I was tempted to give it a 90, but I think I have to leave it at an 89.
Oh, well, okay.
I think it's a very enjoyable album. Longer tracks, but never does feel exhausting.
So 289s and 190.
Yeah, its final score is an 88.9, which means it's going on the list at number 163.
All right, that's way up.
That's way up. It is, in fact, a jump of basically 400 albums, 6.4 entire points. Well done, Disturbed. And well done, Connor. I would say that's a bona fide redemption for Disturbed. I'm so glad we came back and visited them again. That 163, by the way, is above, as far as episodes we've done, above the Japanese House, Good at Falling.
Wow.
And below Sabrina Carpenter's Short and Sweet.
Wow. And actually, since last time I've paid close attention to your list, it's official. A 90 isn't good enough to get into the top 100.
No.
You have to get a 90.3, or a 90.2, sorry. A 90.2 is currently at 99 and 100. You actually have a major tie going on here in the 90.2s.
Classic 90.2.
So if you want to be safe, get a 90.3 or better to ensure a spot in the top 100.
Yeah.
It used to be a 90 was the cutoff range. Now I'm looking for a 90.3. So to be, at an 88.9, that's only, 1.3? 1.3, 1.4 points away from another top 100.
Not too far back, yeah.
63 spots separating that 1.4 points. I'll take it. That's absolutely a redemption. I'm 2 for 2 here.
Yeah, that's a big time redemption. You are. Frank Sinatra was hugely redeemed. This one, maybe less so redeemed.
Pretty successful.
I mean, Watertown to Only the Lonely is just an absurd jump.
Listen, I said in that episode after you announced that score that I'd set the bar too high and I would never reach it again.
Yeah.
I started with the best.
Yeah. Evolution to Immortalized is a much more reasonable, but still significant gap. And I really do think I'm going to dive back into the sickness and moving up.
This is the kind of redemption I was expecting. This is like the goal redemption, right? Is to see this kind of improvement.
Big time.
I can't be mad about this.
No.
Only the Lonely was just in a league of its own.
Yes. Well, let's get into those top threes.
Yes.
For me, first, one that we're matching on, Immortalized.
Nice.
Classic. I already knew it. Has to be one of my top threes. Great title track, great album opener, sets the bar really high. I did not like the Vengeful One as much.
Yeah, understood.
But I really did like Open Your Eyes, which is going to get my second top three.
Okay. One I skipped.
Yes. Then I think I'm going to mention You're Mine because I love those vocal runs at the end of the chorus, the descending motifs. I think there was a lot of big sound coming out of Your Mine. And even though it had a little more of that electronic, digital kind of intro, they did a good job at not letting it overtake the entire song like an intrusive, invasive weed. They managed to kind of hold their ground against it in spite of it. So Your Mind really impressed me in that way. And my final top three pick, I feel a little bad because there's a couple other deserving songs. Yeah, right. I just feel like there's a couple other songs I could give it to. And I feel like I'm giving it to The Sound of Silence because it's The Sound of Silence.
But it's deserving. I mean, that's like saying, I gave the gold medal to Usain Bolt because he's Usain Bolt. It's like, no, you gave it to him because he's Usain Bolt. He's fast.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's fair. If it's a matter of preference,
mine always is.
Just again, I don't think The Sound of Silence is one I'm going to come back to a ton. It's not one that surprised me from this album because I already knew it and I already knew what it would be like. But it is such a good one.
Yeah, but imagine if you didn't.
And if I didn't know it, yeah, if you hadn't been recommending it to me pretty incessantly since 2015,
you're like, whoa.
That would have been a surprise.
Yeah.
So that's where my third top three goes.
Cool. Playlist picks?
What do you want for the playlist pick? Do I have to ask? I hope I have to ask.
I want it all.
Yeah, that's going to be a rough one.
I mean, I really want The Sound of Silence.
I know you do.
But at the same time, I could see not. If I had my pick of the lot, it'd probably be The Sound of Silence and Immortalized would be my two.
I kind of figured that'd be what you want. I think I'll let you do your thing, and I'm going to take Open Your Eyes.
Take and Open Your Eyes.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Of all your picks, that's the one I would have least liked. Like, 'cause I really like Your Mind, too.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to take The Sound of Silence. I need that in my queue whenever I'm listening to the playlist.
Wow. So we're taking from Simon and Garfunkel, Cecilia and the Boxer, and from Disturbed, The Sound of Silence.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, boss. That makes sense. And again, it's not like we could have taken The Sound of Silence from Simon and Garfunkel anyway.
Yeah.
But now I feel like if we do ever do that song, we can't take it.
No, it'd be really funny to put both, and then they come on back to back.
Hello, darkness, my old friend, and then suddenly, hello, darker darkness, my old friend.
Well, that brings us to the end of another episode of the Spin It Podcast.
Yes, it does.
If you made it this far, make it a little farther and just, round out the last couple minutes here. Don't be a quitter.
That's right.
Go follow us on Instagram at SpinItPodOfficial.
There you go.
And on X at SpinItPod. Check out all of our episodes, the ranking spreadsheet, some supplementals, some blooper reels. You name it, it's probably there, unless it's not, and then don't name it. But you can find it all at www.spinitpod.com.
Yeah, you can. And one of the best ways for a podcast to grow is through word of mouth. So,
why not your mouth?
Why not yours? Tell a friend about the podcast this week. Tell a friend that you would describe as the guy.
Oh.
Or the gal. Tell them about the podcast.
Gals can be guys. A gal can be the guy.
Well, that's true. I'm just saying. Tell your guy friends.
Well, this is good. Another Connor episode coming to a close.
Yep.
Another good one. Another good redemption. I'm 2 for 2. Doing so much better than I did in the Year of Vengeance.
Yeah. That's intentional, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I guess I'm doing better than I did in the Year of Discovery, really. The Discovery era, I feel like, didn't go as well as I'd hoped.
You got some good ones in Discovery.
Yeah, I could have gone better.
But Redemption is really proving to be awesome.
Well, I don't think there's anything left to do but leave the audience with a little Keep spinning! All right, I did the whole episode, so you're supposed to come with the outro banter then. That's how this works.
I got outro banter for you.
You do the episodes, I come with the outro banter.
Fair enough. Do you know that Disturbed's bass player Fuzz, he fell off a fire escape and broke his ankle.
I did know that. That's on the Wikipedia page. I didn't know that until I did the rundown.
Yikes. Yeah, the band was using the elevators in their rehearsal space, and he didn't want to wait on an elevator, so he just went out on the fire escape and flipping fell, broke his ankle, and couldn't play with the band anymore.
Shattered it, yeah.
That's my outro banter. But if the building had been on fire, he would have escaped, so it still worked as intended.
He would have been the first one to escape.
That's right.
My outro banter is simply... Wah!